relay. Hilde Fenn has done an excellent job so far, and the Romanians shooting 5 out of 5 as well.
Now Brune came in, Patrick, 26 seconds behind, so late getting into position, but she's tried to pick that up in her shoot. And
well, she's certainly done that.
It's brilliant.
That's a great recovery, Mike, a risky one, but I think her tactics were pretty clear. Don't put too much effort into trying to get back to the front of the field. Just take it easy and shoot well, shoot clear, and look at that. She's gone all the way up into 6th, having been down in 18th position.
You know, that takes a very cool mind, a very calm biathlete, and that is why Brune is so perfect on the shooting range.
It's a mystery why she hasn't had more success at World Cups, why she hasn't had more podium finishes.
It's just really her ski speed. She doesn't shoot, she's not the fastest in terms of shooting speed, but she just doesn't quite have the track speed, losing 45 seconds over 7.5 kilometers.
And she's one athlete who's been affected by the fact that they've cut down the number of individual races, the long distance race with the 1 minute penalty for a miss.
Of course, absolutely. That was a great performance from Hilde Fenn. She's only 19, and this has got to be a very daunting day with the amphitheatre here. It puts even more pressure on you.
So the top 6 teams all shooting perfectly, and Ukraine in there as well, but they were just a little bit behind times. Not quite sure what's up with Shima. She is the slowest of the Ukrainians, so if Ukraine can finish this leg and only be 30-40 seconds behind the leaders, I think they'll fancy their chances of a podium finish, because they've got the 2 Semelienko twins and Elena Pedrushna, who's having a really good season so far. Welcome back to Oberhof. The women on their second leg. We've seen a fall from France. Now we've seen a fall from Germany, and that was Tina Bachmann going down very heavily indeed. Mike, that's the worst possible time to go down, the fastest part of the corner, and she loses all the benefit of the 50 kilometres an hour that they build up coming down to that bend. Where's the mistake?
Huge amount to lose. Camera, let's get on her. But yeah, that's a huge, you lose all that inertia, all that speed down into the next climb. And there she is in the far distance on the right-hand side, Tina Bachmann.
She's recovered pretty quickly, and in fact used the remainder of the downhill to pick up some good speed. But it's given the Czechs with Vitkova a little bit of an advantage. Fenn of Norway, who shot clear. No penalty loops incurred on the first, so all the teams are still within a minute and a half. I guess the biggest surprise is that the Olympic champions, Russia, are down in 13th position after that first shoot and starting to make ground now. Russia on the left of your screen. That's Ekaterina Glazarina who's on the charge now with some making up to do, but that doesn't bode well for her first shoot in the stand position. Well, that's a great gain by Russia. Mike, just looking to see where she's lying. 9th now. Brune's gone from 6th back down into 10th. I wonder if the effort she made to get back in contact with the group on that first loop is starting to pay.
Maybe there's Brune just gone through past the camera now, and Glazarina, that's quite interesting. She shot well, she only used 1 spare round, and I think this is going to be worrying for the Russian team. They wanted to be winning the relays, certainly after Christmas, I was told. And here we are after Christmas, but the race has got a long way to go.
Well, a long way to go. Russia's quartet, Zaitseva, Shumilova and Vilakina still to take over from Ekaterina Glazarina, who's on that first leg. The Norwegians, Fenner, Sullumdal, Horn and Berger. Berger, you know all about, the world #1 at the moment, takes the last leg. Always dangerous because she's quite a cool character when it comes to the relays and the head-to-head racing. She leads the sprint, she leads the pursuits. I think she's top of the Mass Start World Cup as well. So she's the perfect athlete for this sort of relay, provided you haven't got a Magdalena Neuner in there who can outski her.
Well, that's right, but remember the Germans. I know Bachmann took a fall, but of course we've got Miriam Gürstner. It took her first ever win in Pokljuka before Christmas, so she's the girl with confidence. She's on the up and up. She's beginning to shoot an awful lot better. So maybe the Germans will try and get an early lead, or a lead from leg 2. It's deceptive coming into this firing point. You've worked hard. It's a very gradual climb back into the stadium. And even though it's flat, you're still working hard, although they're beginning to back off now sensibly to try and drop the pulse just a little.
Well, I bet the Czech Republic are now wishing that they'd made Sokolova make the journey to Oberhof, because she is on fantastic form. I quite see why she wants to continue that form as far into the World Cup as possible, and racing relays doesn't really help that issue, but her team need her today. They're leading the way into the second shoot, and a fine effort so far from Veronika Vitkova in lane 1.
Well, the wind, Patrick, it really has dropped off. It was up to 5 meters a second earlier, but it's just fluttering gently from the left.
Norway with Fenner, and then Switzerland with Gasperin, who shot very quickly in the prone position. All three strike at exactly the same time. Gasperin this time taking her time, but making sure of the targets until number 5 goes wide. So a chance for Bachmann to get back into it, and as soon as Brunet settles, which will be in the next couple of seconds, then the French will have a chance. Penalty loops coming the way of Norway. That's the more traditional approach to the relay. Make mistakes early on and then make up for it later on. So one penalty loop. Germany shoot 5 out of 5. Great shooting from Bachmann, considering she took a fall and had to work hard to get back into contact. Brunet misses. Italy with Vera has gone 5 out of 5. She'll move up the order, and everyone else pretty much average. Russia, having been down in 13th, could well move into the top 6 if they clear the last target, which they have done. Well, how quickly things can change, but all credit to Vitkova, Mike. She's now built a lead of 17 seconds.
That's brilliant. Vitkova, we saw her as a junior, how talented she was, and she really has come through this season as one of the best.
Belarus with 2 penalty loops to ski. Sweden hit 5 with 6 shots, so only 10 seconds thrown away. The Slovakians with Martina Shapanova clear the 5 again with 6. This is the race leader, Veronika Vitkova. That second shot going high right. Cause of that?
Probably just a flinch, a nervous reaction. She's trying to hold it steady, then all of a sudden there's a slight flinch, or even the way you drag through the trigger can pull it across top right. We can't really see the trigger pressure with the glove in the way. Norbert Stark, famous fan.
So heading for home now, and the completion of the first leg. Zverikova for the Czech Republic waiting to take the second leg for the race leaders at the moment. 17 seconds, that lead might be cut fairly dramatically by the end. The Italians, Vera on course, handing over to Karen Oberhofer, Gontier Rungaldier, some names that you won't be that familiar with.
Sorry, Patrick, just looking at the results, we saw, of course, Switzerland and Gasperin, the older sister of the next athlete to go for Switzerland. She hit the first 4 with 4 bullets, and then she had 3 spares to get the last shot. She didn't put it down, and she's had to go round the penalty loop. So from first in the group coming into the range first, she's back into 10th position. So important to get these targets. Yeah, 58 seconds the margin. A penalty loop also incurred by Norway, but to be honest, Fenner's done really well to get them back into 5th place, 39.9. So that includes the 3 spare rounds, that's 30 seconds, plus the penalty loop, which takes about 21. So she skied some 10-15 seconds faster than the race leader so far on this final lap. Brunet of France went very well in the prone shooting, but the stand, 2 misses, so 2 spare rounds required. Round the treacherous corner for the final time. Nice technique. Good example of how she's prepared just to have 100% of the weight on the outside ski, and that inside ski poised, ready to put it down close or wide, depending on what happens with the outside ski. I thought Vitkova took that right hand. It's a very fast entry into that right-hander. She took it beautifully well.
So the Czech Republic lead, Poland in 2nd, Germany now into 3rd, ahead of Italy and Norway. Misty conditions here in Oberhof, and it is definitely getting thicker and thicker and thicker as the wind eases. That's often the problem. And it's a long time since we've had to stop a race because the visibility's got so bad, but it could get close tonight. Let's hope not, for the sake of the race leaders, the Czech Republic, who've done very well so far. Germany will be happy, I think, with third position, especially when they look to see the two teams in front, the Czech Republic and Poland, who don't have the same strength in depth as Germany.
I think the Czech Republic, with the World Championships going to the Czech Republic on, the 7th of February, they really have lifted their game for the first time. The World Championships going there. That was outstanding from Vidkova.
Poland coming in, good work from Kristina Palka. Magdalena Gwizdon takes the second leg, and they played their two trump cards, 1 and 2. So I think things will only get worse for them as the race goes on, but they've done well so far. Germany go out in third, 25 seconds to make up and 25,000 decibels to cheer them on the way. What a fantastic reaction from the crowd. Italy in 4, and Vera handing over to Karin Oberhofer again. I think maybe the third leg could be crucial for them. Norway go out in the top 6 with Hilde Fenn handing over to Sinevied Solomdahl. Now, Solomdahl, if she's on the same sort of form as she was before Christmas, could easily close that 38-second gap on the first two loops.
You needed to be a very strong skier to cope with these conditions. Every time you press that edge down to get your forward momentum, you sink so deeply. And look at the athletes left of picture, totally exhausted after, 20-minute racing.
Well, that's the last time I put my money on the French. Down in 11th, 104 behind, and they've played their safest card already. Brunet, who hardly ever misses a target, has taken a fall and missed 2. What's going on?
They might come back, Patrick, you never know.
They might come back. They've got a good quartet. Bescon, Boilly, Dorin, all still to race.
Only Norway and Switzerland there on the penalty loop out of the first 10 teams.
There'll be someone smiling this evening, Veronika Vidkova. That is a fabulous start for her, and with Poland just behind, these two could have a good battle. Magdalena Gwizdon, Mike, 7-8 years ago, she was the hot shot of the tour. The shooting drifted away for a bit, but I've been quite impressed with her this season.
She certainly has raised her game again, and we saw the sprint in Hochbilsen. She only missed one target, and she finished in 6th position in the World Cup. So she has found form again this season and confidence in the shooting. Yeah. But sometimes it disappears, like in the pursuit. She missed 2, then 1.
I agree with that.
It's there occasionally.
Yeah, I agree with that. She not only has she had 2 6th positions in the World Cup this year, but consistently better than 25. So the consistency, I think, is what's impressed me, and that must mean that there's more chance of seeing a really spectacular result at some stage.
And I think the Polish team as well, they have admitted that they have overtrained the athletes in the past, so they've given them an easier program, and they really have lifted their game.
Germany with the quickest skier out on the course at the moment, Miriam Gössner, who started 25 seconds down. She's closed that to 14. We saw a similar performance from her in Pachuca just before the Christmas break. She is lightning quick. There's still no guarantee that she's going to hit the targets, but that side of things seems to be getting better. She's almost mirroring Magdalena Neuner's career.
Oh, she has got confidence now, but Solomdahl there as well has taken 13 seconds off the lead time in just 800 meters.
Good shot of the boot binding system. How much stiffer these boots are than years gone by. I mean, the old Salomon boots used to be like flip-flops with virtually no control. But as soon as skating came in 1985, the manufacturers concentrating on developing a stiff sole without really increasing the weight of the shoe.
Yeah, they're very light, and we can see the carbon fibre around the rim of the top of the boot, making it very light but also very strong.
Would you advocate training with softer boots on occasion just to keep the strength of the feet and the balance?
Oh, I think you're absolutely right, because you are so locked into these boots, you do begin to lose all the important muscles and tendons in and around the ankle. So absolutely. And running as well, as a lot of the athletes do in the summer, a lot of running training, keep the ankle strong.
Do you run on these shoes that have individual toes?
I've seen them. I haven't done